what you have around your neck.
Okay, this is a new discovery that I made about thanks to Enima Amua Auntie Enima. She's called Matilda Kutu. She's at trade fair. Yeah,
it's so beautiful.
She makes all these wonderful with coral and chevron and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What about this? This I like.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm interested in that. Yes.
This was given to me by my husband.
Oh,
okay.
What does that symbolize? It's a secret.
Oh, I'm just kidding. It's just a ring he loves to wear as a chief, and so when he gets one for me.
That's so sweet. And by the way, Ohene Yuri Gifty Auntie came here with her husband. And, and the whole time, when we were off air, she would ask him, says, look out for me, my dress is so well placed, and are you okay? Well, silly question. Do people tell you you're too pretty to be a feminist? Has anybody told you that you're too pretty to be a feminist?
Yes, I've been told that several times, and that it's not good to hate men. I should allow myself to be married, I should go home.
No, we'll get to that point.
We'll
get to that point. But take us back to when you were growing up. How was childhood like for you? Were you the last one?
Yes, I'm the last one. Last of 8 children.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was very, very close to my dad. I grew up on a lot of love. My father was a very loving man. That's one thing that I will always remember about him. Very, very caring. He's opening up. He's a Gold Coast trained police officer, Presbyterian trained, disciplinarian, but he was so open. I hear people saying that when they were growing up, they couldn't talk to their parents. But with my dad, it was there's certain things that it was a woman who was supposed to tell a daughter, but it was my dad. Something like, about talking to me about my period. When I'm in pain, he's the one I'll go to. He's the one who will run and go and look for the right medication for me to abate my pain and all that. We're very close. I dress up and I'll go to him. That button up my, dress for me and all that. We're very, very close. So there was a lot of love. There wasn't a lot of money at home, but plenty of love. And my dad made me feel like I'm it. There's nothing that I cannot achieve. Anything I put my mind to it, I can achieve. I never had Barbie dolls and all that, but I had, milk, tin. You can use it to build a car and all that. And my father would cheer me on. I feel on top of the world, and I'm the best.
So you built stuff when you were young?
Yes. With cupboards and tins and all that, yeah.
Okay. Well, what did you tell your dad, or what did he tell you, growing up, and what you wanted to be? What is it then?
He told me to make sure I make an impact in society, to make sure for your goods, but for your good. Not for your goods, not for the material things, but for your good. The impact you make, the legacy you leave.
But that impact, did it come with pressure? Does that mean you had a certain expectation to meet, and so you had to be a certain way?
Yes, I needed to make my father proud. Everything I did. Will my father be happy about it? Will my father feel proud about me? Not that I didn't do naughty things that I knew my father would not be happy about it.
Yeah.
I was quite stubborn, ran away, go to the beach when I'm not supposed to go to, go and play when I'm not supposed to, and not tell him stuff. But every time when my dad, or if my dad is disappointed in me, it was a killer. It really brought my spirit down. Okay. But he built it.
Whether perform, speech and prize giving, all of that.
No, I didn't have that. Okay. Because
tell me about, school when you were
school when I went to what you call Saito. Tema Contier number 1 primary, and then I went to Form 2. I sat for common entrance. I didn't go to the whole Form 4 distance. So every now and then he will pass through. When he's going round to do his insurance sales, he will pass through and then check up on me. But Infantima was a bit far away. Transportation, instead of taking that, he would rather send the money to me to do something. But there was only one time he came to visit me, and I'll never forget that. It was Infantima Girls, and I was on top of the world. I was on duty that I didn't know he was coming, and I still, have the picture and the goosebumps. And then he got down from STC And I saw this man coming with his briefcase under his armpit, holding a loaf of bread, and he was coming. And I was so excited. I was so happy to see my dad. That was the only time he came to see me at school. But it's...
For how many years were you in school?
7 years.
And he visited you once?
Once.
Why?
He could only come only once.
Because he couldn't afford?
He couldn't. Well, he would rather use the money to make sure my school fees is paid. I have something in my job was to go to school.
Wow.
And then take care of my other siblings, my senior siblings and all that. So it wasn't like he didn't want to come. He would always say that, not that I don't want to come, but the situation at home. I tell people that growing up, up to now, I'm not able to eat on Sunday mornings because Sunday mornings you go to church. My father will tell you that if you eat before you go to church, you fall asleep. And whilst you sleep, the angel of God will come and pass by and will go and tell God that you're sleeping. So you miss your blessing, kind of thing. But
so let's go back to that moment when you saw your dad coming here. You knew that in 7 years you haven't, you didn't even know it was going to be the last, but you treasured it in that moment. Yeah. Tell me about it and what it meant to you, what he said to you.
No, it was very exciting, and for me, it meant that he cared. He not that he doesn't want to come. He would want to come, but circumstances do not allow him to come. So that attempt, and he came. People come to visit their children with, car boot full of provisions and food, cooked food and all that. My father came with a loaf of bread, and it meant the world to me. It meant the world to me. I was very excited. I felt very reassured.
Did you have any pressure from other girls? These days you go to school, people's parents coming, and I went to my hometown, actually where I grew up in Takoradi, and I heard my niece say, my niece tell his mother, next time don't come, unless you have a car, don't come to my school. Like, mommy, please, that kind of pressure. And for a child, it's affected him psychologically, that's why he's complaining. Did you have that kind of pressure from your team?
I did, but I didn't allow it to affect me.
What was the nature of the pressure?
Oh, the pressure, they give to auntie, are you sure your mother is alive? Are you sure your father is alive? Those kind of, how come they've never come to visit you? But I always had an answer. I'm a talkative, so I always had an answer for you. I'll tell you, something really nice. Ask me that. How
about breaking the rules? How about breaking the rules?
We did all the time. We did all the time.
Was it going out? To party? What was it?
No. You couldn't. They put this fear of God in us. They said we were surrounded by wild animals and tigers in the bush. It was really a bushy area, so you're afraid to go out. Even at night, when you're getting out to go to the washroom, you need to go with somebody because you're afraid. They used to tell us we had these bush babies, and it's true, you could hear some animals crying like a baby in the bush at night. So we used to think that yes, they're true bush babies that can eat you up and all that. So you are careful, but when it's in Tako, you go. Once you get to Cape Coast, then you sneak and you make sure that if it's 5 o'clock, you will stay at the stadium or the ground for the intercall. You watch a little, and then you sneak out. Go and chill, and then you come, and then the bus you're back on. But just when I was at sixth form, then they started, those juniors started getting, quite naughty, running away to town and having, but entertainment time, we'll have fun. I remember we had this mock parliament where we staged a coup. My side we lost, but the part that the side that won, we actually overthrew them by locking them in the dining hall, for a day, and then we rule.
Did you hold any position there when you were?
Yes, I was entertainment prefect.
Tell me about it. How come? Where did that come from?
Oh well, I've always been that entertainment person. So even now, I follow a lot of entertainment programs and issues that go around. Primary school, I was either dancing for the schools, part of school culture. Infantine girls, I was modeling for the school. I was dancing for the school, and throughout Infantine 7 years, all the prizes and certificates I had were for dancing, for modeling kind of thing. Yeah.
I see. Oh, then you can really move. We'll get to that a bit. So, how was when you came out of Infantine, and a lot of people, when they are out of secondary school, they obviously do not know what they want to do. When did you know, or when did it come to you that, this is what I want to do, this is the path I want to go?
Well, I'll say that journalism found me. When I finished Infantima, when I completed Infantima, all I wanted to do was to do land economy.
Why?
Not because everybody around me then was doing land economy. In Tema, I grew up in Tema, and all the big guys we knew, like the seniors, that big Tema guys, that Karl Marx and others that we're looking up to, we're all doing land economy. So we also wanted to do land economy. So me, it was take or suicide. Dorinando and I, it was take or suicide. Actually, we call ourselves room. We planned we're going to be in the same room. We're going to be at Indies. We're going to do land economy and all that. So that was it. And I struggled. I didn't get to land economy. I was offered, I think, estate management. At Tech. And I didn't want that. I wanted land economy. So I had to come home. And then I ended up going to...
go?
Yeah, no, I didn't get admission.
At all?
I didn't get admission at all. So I had to come. I felt sick. I was very sick, out of frustration and, stress and all that. But I came home and I was advised to go to GIJ, to do public relations, because that was where the money was, growing up.
Oh, so maybe you never wanted to do any journalism?
No, I didn't have any. My father will get me to read the newspapers, to watch the news, to listen to, and let's speak English, and then French on radio. But for me, he wanted me to speak well. He wanted me to be knowledgeable. He wanted me to be intelligent. But it never crossed my mind to be a journalist. No, journalism found me, I'll say. I was pointed towards the direction of journalism, and I believe that it was God's own way. He just directed my path there. And up to today, if you ask me, if you offer me $1 million to leave journalism, I'll tell you, I beg you, give me the money. I'll do a lot with that with journalism. I just love what I do. I just love journalism. I was just directed there, and my path had been, directed and guided through that journey of journalism.
When I was reading up on you, I actually found that you did work a bit at Joy.
Yes, that's where my radio, started when I was at GID.
When you were at GID, was it somebody that came to GID? Because when we were in school, people would come there and they'd be scouting for talent, and they look at you and say, "Oh, I think you have a fantastic voice." How did you?
That's what happened. Joy was starting then, and they said there was a program coming. My gender thing started way back at GID.
Okay.
Because I was very angry when I went to when I was at home primary school. I was guided by my father, telling me that I'm this beautiful woman, superwoman, I can do anything, I can put man. I went to girls' school, Infantima girls, we're called man side. We'll do anything, achieve anything, and we are not afraid, we are not your typical kind of thing. We'll get our hands in.
You mean the typical Wesley girls? Pater,
be careful, I'm a patron of 97-year group Wesley girls, so I don't want to get myself in trouble.
Oh no, but when you were in school,
I just say that
all right, go ahead.
So what happened was that we did, and then I come to GIJ and oh, you're a woman, you can't do this, you're a woman. I'm like, what kind of thing is that? So I actually started a pen ladies club at GIJ in 95. And then I think my friend Kate Ado joined me. I was the president, she was the vice. So we were having this women thing going on. Started the gender Aluta thing there. So when Joy started, they came in and said, okay, you ladies are doing well. We're starting a program with women and the youth. So if you're interested, you can be part of it. That's when I joined and got involved with it. I was doing 2 programs, New Generation and then Every Woman.
What was the impact? What response did you get? That you had a medium, you had a voice, and you could reach out to millions. I
was just a panelist then. It was like they used to call it guest artist. The kind of thing. So the issues come, we talk about it, and people will tell me, "Oh, I like your point. I like the issue you raised." Some people will say, "Oh no, you people, you're too." I say, "You're a young lady. You have to be careful. The things you say, a woman is not supposed to." You had the, the pros and the cons, and those who like, those who dislike, so that kind of life, I'm used to it. I got used to it.
We'll come to whether, men, deliberately try to intimidate you. But
they still do.
They still well, yes. So when did GBC come in? And you went there as a floor manager? Not even
I went there
to read news?
As for internship.
To do your internship?
When I was at GIJ, I was there for 3 months. So I stayed. After that, I got there for my national service. And then after national service, it was national service that I was put on the breakfast show as a floor manager. Yes, and then it all started.
So when you go in there, you're watching them. I mean, yes, the presenters are there. What was going through your mind?
Unfortunately, I didn't get to be a floor manager for long. I was enjoying it when I was doing my internship.
Okay.
There for the 3 months. During news, you go and floor manager. In those days, your name will come on floor manager, Gifty auntie, And it was so exciting. Your name has come on TV, and my father will see it and get excited. Oh, my daughter's name, kind of thing. It was, but for the breakfast show, it was just the first day. I didn't even get to floor manage the first day because I got, blessed enough for Beatrice, Madam Beatrice, let's say, to invite me to be a part of the team too. I sat on the seat with her, and then it took off from there.
Okay, how did you, become your main news anchor, come on the screen? Because the perception out there is that it's just so hard at GBC because of the bureaucratic nature of things for people to even sail through.
Right. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy to be a news presenter. I don't know about now, but our time it was tough to get in there. You need to really be schooled. And as I said, I was blessed to have Auntie B guide me, train me, teach me how to do well with the pronunciations and all that. So when the opportunity came for news presenters to be enrolled or to be, employed, sort of, then Madam Gardner, I told Rodling, is it? Oh God, I think it's
is it Rosling?
No,
Gardner, Mrs. Gardner.
Miss Gardner, yeah. She approached and said, Gifty, we went through training. We're trained for a period of time, about 2 or 3 months, and then a few of us were selected to join the news team. So we're going to put on the 10 p.m. news time, and then there was a protest, and some people said, no way, you can't put them straight on the 10 p.m. because the 10 p.m. news, it was 10:30 news, was a big deal, so you can't put them on, let them start from 12 o'clock. So this 10:30, I remember I dressed up with my slate and kaba, and they said, no way, we are not allowing you to go. I said, but Miss Gardner says I should. He said, no, you're not going to do it. We'll let you. So you have to start with 12 o'clock. I said, okay. So I started 12 o'clock. And at that time, I was, devastated because I told my dad I was going to read the news and all that. But it is a good thing that I was told to start with the 12 because it helped me learn through the ropes. Through the, went through the process, and then from 12 I moved to 10:30, and then we came to the major news, and then after that, a whole lot followed. Yeah.
Okay, and working there, I know you had a different way of dressing. Because GBC, you'd expect you're very conservative. You were conservative, but you had a lot of things around your neck. You have a beautiful neck, but then you would put your beads there. You always had it, and all of that. Didn't they resist it?
They did. I went through a lot. That's another story altogether. I went through a lot, breaking the rules and all that, but I'm a very determined, focused, and a fighter. A rebel in a way, not in a rude way. Yeah. Not in a rude way. I'll just do it politely. The following day said, and we didn't like your scarf and this, that. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, but next day I'll do it again.
Why was that important to you? Because you wanted to have an identity.
I just needed an identity for myself. My father taught me that if you have just 1 minute, make sure you make an impact. 1 minute. Just make sure that somebody remembers something about you.
Oh, and we did remember a lot.
To affect, somebody in a way, even if 1 minute. And I couldn't wear the, non-gold You see, I'm putting in a nice way.
Nice way,
Non-gold, kind of jewelry, and then the silver-looking thing. I could wear it, but I will react to it badly.
Okay.
And I didn't have the money to afford those good things.
I know.
All I could afford was my beads. And I love wearing my beads. I love wearing my jewelry. So I'll put it on. I hate when I sit under the dryer for a long time, I get a headache. So I didn't have the money to do the weaves and all that at that time.
Tell me about it.
So I would tie my hair, I wear my scarf and all that. And it got to a time, I remember, Madam.
So it wasn't because you were just so fashionable, but because sometimes it was just too expensive to maintain.
Yes, it was just, and I just love wearing mine. Sometimes, people say, but you're going to this program, look at your hair. I said, don't worry. Make him do could be CCR, and we'll go on, and it's become part of me.
You read news for about 17? Is it? How many years?
I started reading news in 98. And I left GBC 31st December 2013. Yeah. So about 16 years. 17 years. Yeah, 16, 17 years.
Wow. Yeah. When did the breakfast show kick in? And I remember the last one I watched was at the Manchia Palace. Yeah. It was so beautiful. You were, of course, as usual, you brought your A game. It was good. When did that kick in?
Yeah, it kicked in. It started on the 13th of February 1997.
Yeah, but how did you make that transition? Because reading news, there was you have very, you go to a script, but you were very relaxed.
I started with the breakfast show before I started reading news.
Really?
Yeah, the breakfast show started before news reading.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, came in.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's
why I started the breakfast show whilst I was doing my national service.
Okay.
Yes, but I became a news anchor when I was employed in November 1997.
So when you were doing the breakfast show, you were not?
No, I was not an employee. I was doing my national service at GBC, yes.
When you were presenting?
Yes.
You were doing your national service?
Yes, I was doing my national service.
And you were not paid for it?
No.
Wow.
No.
So how did you make money then? Because you looked good. You mentioned that. It was hard to maintain your hair.
Yeah.
How did you keep up? Was it Daddy was supporting you?
Yes, it was. Daddy was supporting me, and then we had some relatives too who come in every now and then to chip in to help you. And I did well with my trotro. The kind of person.
Oh, you come on TV and after you go take your
trotro? I'll take my trotro home. Sometimes you walk from GBC to Circle. You bought your trotro to Tema. You get down at the junction, walk home.
When did they make it official and you became employee? Which year?
November 97.
97?
Yeah, November 97.
Okay.
But started the breakfast show February 97.
Okay, all right. Tell me about, yes, you did the breakfast show, and at some point you realized that, look, you've won awards, you've done so much. When did you realize it was time to leave? A lot of people say that this job is so addictive.
It is.
And sometimes you have something called withdrawal syndrome.
Yeah.
You don't want to give up because you're so used to, people seeing you on air. Right. And when did you realize it was time to go and you walked out and never looked back?
One thing about us, and I talk about it every time I get the opportunity, is that as a woman, you always have to improve upon yourself.
Sure.
You always have to up your game. You need to improve upon yourself, whatever you're doing. Thank God for the Standpoint. The Standpoint gave me such a big platform, such a national presentation and leverage. Then the Girl in Need Foundation also kicked in. Then I realized people were coming to me for help, for advice. I was being invited to go and speak at places outside Accra. But what I told myself that there was absolutely no way I'm going to cheat on my employer for my own personal interest. So it got to a point I had to leave because I had fallen in love so deeply with my gender activism, with my youth motivation and encouragement mentoring program, and then the Girl in Need Foundation.
I want to ask, there was a lot of rumors going around about that you had bad blood between you and GBC, and that was it because you were replaced without being, told on the breakfast show?
No. I was sacked from the breakfast show. I'm not afraid. I was told one day, they called me Monday morning. I finished the and told the Gifty, I'm sorry, you can't. Just then the director of TV called me to his office and said, I'm sorry, you can't be on the breakfast show again that you were supposed to be taking up. I said, thank you, sir.
Just like that.
Just
Nobody
like,
gave you a reason.
I mean, you didn't need it. I mean, they don't need to give you a reason. I said,
This is what you've been doing for years.
Yeah. Now, when I left the breakfast show, 2 years I was still working at GBC, and then I left. As for Gifty Auntie and the room was, it's plenty. It's plenty. After today, I can still walk to GBC and talk to anybody. I can call. I give everybody respect. Yes, I had really tough time at GBC. I won't lie about that. Really tough time.
Why do you think that was the case?
Well, I don't know.
Now that you're out, I mean, has it ever sunk in? Have you ever thought about,
maybe
why they did that?
Maybe because I was breaking the rules. I wasn't conforming. Maybe.
When you say breaking the rules?
Well, I wasn't conforming. Maybe I wasn't doing the things that, I don't know, but maybe I wasn't doing things the way I was expected to do.
What was it that you were supposed to do that you didn't do the way?
Bridget, I can't tell you. For me, I was doing my best.
Okay.
But you'll never know. Your best may never be good enough for somebody.
Okay.
So things happen. But I had a very good relationship with everybody I worked under.
And it meant that you went out to do stories and you reported extensively.
Yes. I did. I went out, I did reportage. I've been to the length and breadth of this country, especially thanks to the breakfast show. I did human interest story, did features for a long time. Even when I left, some of my features were being played on the breakfast show and all that. But I will never ever, and I don't regret working at GBC, despite everything, in spite of everything, because there's no way my history will be told without GBC being mentioned. GBC is a good training ground.
Wait. Okay, so I'm sorry.
Okay.
My producers are watching me a little.
Okay.
Were you driving an ML at the time?
ML.
Yes.
Mercedes ML.
Yes.
Oh yes, I got to. Yes, I at a point I had a Lexus that was mine. The ML was Laboro. I used to borrow a friend's ML every now and then, to drive. But I started, I went through the process. I started by walking, taking trotros, taking taxis. Got my 99. Got my small matchbox car called Daihatsu Sharid. I still see the one who bought it from me driving. When I get so angry, red. From there I moved to a Toyota Camron. Then I moved to RAV4. Then I bought a Lexus. They were all home use cars. They were not brand new cars, home use cars. I moved to a Lexus, and then I think when I sold the Lexus,
it was still expensive.
It's still and then when I sold the Lexus, I bought the car that I use now. That's in 2000. I bought it in 2010. Mm-hmm. That's what I use now. But you see, what people don't know about me, sometimes they see, this job that she's doing from 1996. I traveled to UK every time, and God, I worked. Sometimes I get there Monday morning, Monday night, I'm starting work. I finish work Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, I'm boarding a flight back to Ghana. And if you were trained, if you were raised by my father, my late father, you know that you don't spend every money you get. I tell my girls all the time.
You travel abroad to clean, or what did you do?
I did cleaning. I did home care. I did hospital jobs. I did, shop, working at the shop. At a point, even when I was coming on TV, I still was traveling to go and work. I stopped working, traveling to go and work only in 2004.
Okay. Being in front of the camera and being, in fact, a beautiful woman in front of the camera comes with its own downsides.
Right.
Was there a point, I want to stay on the rumor thing, was there a point that what is the worst rumor you've heard about yourself? The worst thing you've heard about to answer that. The worst thing you've heard about yourself, you were like, oh my God, did I actually do this?
I still hear things about me that, I get amazed. About. So I don't know which particular, if it's the presidential one, well, it didn't really bother me much. It didn't really, because I knew I wasn't doing it. I had a very good relationship with the president's family. I still have a very... You mentioned
that you're actually very close to the President Kufuor's wife.
Yes. On my
Madam Teresa,
on my 40th birthday, I had it at Afrikiko here, and I will never, ever forget it. I brought... orphans from Village of Hope to come and celebrate with me. I was at the side Gifty, Auntie Gifty, you have a vista. When I went to the then former First Lady, Mrs. Theresa Kufuor, was sitting in her car with her driver. I said, how did you know? She said, well, I came to GBC to surprise you with your birthday present, and I was told you were here. So I came. And it was so exciting. So she got down, she came to cut the cake with me and the orphans, because apparently she had already been doing some job with the Village of Hope orphans. So it was very exciting. I mean,
why do you think people, instead of, I have heard you say that you're so close to the woman, but why do you think people rather would focus on you and President Kufuor instead of the woman? Why? Is it because you're beautiful? Is it because you reported from the presidency? What was it?
On President Kufuor's, I think his 70th or 72nd birthday, right? President Kufuor was sitting here. His wife was sitting there. I went to anybody who knows me. I'm a hugger. I like hugging people, and I'll go like that. So I saw him, I just hugged him, and he gave me a peck on the cheek. His wife was, I sat on his wife's lap, held her, we chatted, we had a chat. People were, the cameras were there, but they captured that moment with President Kufuor and ignored that moment with his wife.
Even though you sat on the wife's lap?
People would do whatever they want to do. No matter what. As a woman, they don't expect you to succeed. As a woman, they don't expect you to get to a certain place. It's up to you as a woman, how you take it, how you react to it. When it started, at the height of it, Bridget, I could have just decided enough is. And a lot of people told me, and some family members, Gifty, is enough. Waba TV is so enough. Just get off. Stay off air. Stay off it. Leave this job.
How did that affect you personally?
I just told my father told me that, listen, it is your destiny, it is your purpose, it's about you. Whatever people say about you, just make sure you rise above it. If it's true and you know it's not good, you change and then you move on. If it's not, just hold your head high and move on. That's when he told me that the best form of revenge is to succeed. As they keep talking, sometimes I wonder why people still talk about me. Because the more they talk, the more they try to bring me
blessings.
Down, the more God seems to raise me, the platforms I get, the places I get to go to, the kind of image that I still get. Okay. I just wonder, so these people, won't they learn?
Oh, and I think another one was you had a child.
Oh yes, with the presidential baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know how old he or she is
by now.
Yes,
maybe you put the child in.
Apparently, I was so rich. The baby was being taken care of in London by a nanny. Very, very interesting.
Okay. Well, is it that people keep a tab on you? So when you are not on air, people assume that maybe she's pregnant.
It was when I left. I think in 2004. I left to go and do my master's in London. Yeah. That's what, people started, she's pregnant, she's going to have a baby. I know, it's so interesting. When I was coming on this program, you know what I did? No. I sent a WhatsApp. That's what I do. I sent a general WhatsApp to broadcast, and I said, and watch me on TV3. I'm going to talk about my new upcoming baby. And then immediately the response was, thank God you're going to have a baby. Why on earth would I go and sit? I've been married for 1 month. Go and sit on air and say that I'm pregnant.
Even if you're pregnant,
do you get me? All right. But that's what immediately comes to mind.
I know you do a lot of charity work. I think I walked into a bank and I saw one Ghana for one girl, and you have supported about over 30 girls. Over 30 girls are in school, and one of them is actually in the university.
Yeah, three of them. We have one at UDS, right? No, I think Tamale Poly. There's one at Kivas and then another one at Legon. Yeah.
Tell me about how. When did you also make that decision to try to say, okay, I have enough. It's about time I extended a hand to people. And then how do the girls also come to you? How do you find them?
Well, that came, naturally. When I was growing up, I used to give to my father. My father is the one that next door neighbor has a truckload of, drinks being delivered to his house. My father would bring home 6 bottles of minerals and tell you, take one to here, take one to there. And by the time we are done, it's left only 2 bottles in there for us to share. So it was part of me. The little that I have, I will share. I was taking care of people, helping them pay school fees. But when I started the standpoint, it got to a point that people were coming on to tell you stories, how they are struggling, single mothers, girls being abused and all that. And I said, listen, it's not good enough talking about it. But it's important that I take the next step to do something for them. Because if you go to a school to talk to the young people, that don't allow yourself to be abused, don't allow yourself for a lecturer or a teacher to sleep with you just because you want to pass an exams or just because you need money to go to school, they go back. And I get that sometimes in senior high school, I don't let them stand up to ask the question. They write to some pieces of paper and then I pick it up and I read it. And some of the things, the questions they are asking, where am I going to get the money from? I shouldn't sleep with my uncle. Yes, I shouldn't sleep with a man who helps me. Where am I going to get the money from to go to school? Okay. So I thought it's about time where we did something.
Okay. So how do you pick them?
The girls actually, some of them apply the right to us. Sometimes the teachers bring them. Others too is the neighbors who, identify them and then bring them. Some of them, their own parents bring them to us. And we investigate if their stories are true. We have hundreds of letters. And we've been only able to help so much. We have 36. Even this year, the first, those going to senior high school, first time, we have helped so far pay the school fees about 8 girls already. There are still some pending that today, when I go to work, I need to go through it and select some of them. It's heartbreaking. All of them need help. But we don't have enough to take care of all of them. So you need to, like, the worst of the worst, to pay their school fees. Okay. There's some of them, they don't need that. Some of them been abused several times, passed on from everywhere they go. They want to sleep with them, and they won't even give them the whole school fees. Okay.
And sometimes, I think you were telling me a story about somebody who came from the Volta region, needed just
about 150 cities. 150 cities to pay her school fees. And now, by the grace of God, that girl has done well. She's passed. And she's now at Okyapiman Akwemuman Senior High School. Okay. She went this year. There's another girl who's gone to National. She did so well. There's one from Takrade. And it cuts across. Okay. It's not based on, it's strictly girls, 18 years and below, but your region does not matter. Your religion does not matter. Okay.
I know it's never easy, embarking on such a project, and to put the boxes, whether it's a bank or a mall or whatever, to get 1 Ghana cedis. I'm wondering, it won't be enough. What else? How else do you get money to fund your project?
That's all we depend on. But every now and then, people are gracious enough to make donations. They won't come often. Imperial Homes, they have a charity foundation called Imperial Foundation. Thanks to my husband who connected me to them. They've given us some. They've donated. One time they donated 2,500, and then they donated another 5,000 this year to us. So that helps. But subsequently, it's only the 1 Ghana cedi. And then Reverend Dr. Fred Degbe gave us a platform. He's the only pastor who is giving us a platform in his church to come and look for money, talk to the people about our girls, and then they also do. The church, after collecting, we had about 2,500 and something CDs, but we've taken letters to churches. We are still waiting more than a year. They won't give you a platform to, even taking.
Do you worry that sometimes you might not get money? Does it make you sad?
It's sad. Sometimes they come to you and you don't have the money to give them. There've been several times I have to give them my own money. Okay. Especially when it's the boys. Sometimes because some of the boys too, when you hear their stories, and those ones, it has to come from me personally. Okay. I can't take from the foundation.
You're doing so much. So what's the big dream? How do you want to be remembered?
That I touched lives, that I made an impact, that because of something I did or said, somebody's life turned around for the better. Okay. When Gifty Auntie wasn't married, it was an issue. Gifty Auntie gets married, it's still an issue. Why? The things they said and the things they're saying. Tell me,
that project, that whole thing with the Ghanaian culture, that when it gets to a certain age and people are asking you, I mean, you walk around, people are saying, "Oh, do you have a child? Did you have a husband?" Tell me about that period, that phase that you went through. Was it a choice?
When they introduce you, intentionally say Mrs. Gifty Auntie. Then I'll boldly tell you that it's Miss Gifty Auntie.
Tell me that phase. How was that like? Was it from friends, colleagues?
Everywhere.
Where did it come from?
Everywhere. Friends, colleagues, and people you do not even know. I mean, family, and some meant well, but some is just to spite you and all that.
How did they go about it?
Hey, when are you getting married? You're growing older. You know your biological clock is ticking.
Hey.
And when they say that, especially a Christian, when they say that, it makes me wonder what kind of Christians they are. Because they say they pray and they say God's will be done. You see,
but that didn't bother you?
It at a point it did. There were times it not bother me in terms of wondering, oh God, when will it happen? But it made me angry. But what is it?
Are you not complete the way you are?
What is the big deal? What's your problem? But I thank God for my father and how he raised me and what he put in me. So at a point, it made me become rebellious. I decided that, in fact, 2 months before I even got married, I didn't think I would get married because I was so determined that I will prove.
You will make a difference. I
will prove that you can be single and still achieve it.
But you've already achieved it. You had already achieved everything. I still
have a lot. I haven't achieved everything. I have a lot.
Yeah.
A lot more too, and a very far, journey ahead of me to embark on. I haven't achieved at all, but it was very annoying, I must say, and that kind of thing where they think if you're not married you can't do it, if you're not married you can't achieve it.
Do you tell people that, other women who are going through that? Do you get to counsel people? And people, I'm sure people who, when you were single, you spoke to, do they feel betrayed that, oh, she has gotten married, what's happening to me?
Naturally, no. They feel, apart from one or two friends who would just jokingly say that, now you've broken the ranks of the single, of the singlehood, singlehood and all that. Okay. But interestingly, the emails I've got, the WhatsApp, the Facebook are people telling me that, Gifty, you proved that God's time is the best. Gifty, you've proved that yes, everything is possible. That we all have our different destinies. In our local dialect, we have a lot of wise sayings that we take for granted. So, obi krani nyameno, no obi njinaho. God deals with us differently.
Yeah.
Someone will marry at 18 years and she will succeed and everything will be fine. Some 28, some 20. Some will also marry at the age of 18 and 2 months they are breaking up. Some will marry at 20-something, 30-something, 40-something. This is my first ever marriage. I haven't been married and, divorced.
Yeah.
And I tell people that, my husband was the first man who made me feel that.
Well, when did you meet him?
Can be fun.
Yeah. When did you meet him?
3 years ago.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll actually Nana call answer. I don't want to make mistake. Nana Ansakwa, the fourth.
Yeah.
Nana, please, could you please join us?
Oh, no.
Nana is here. Nana, we've said it live on TV. Nana is shaking his head. Maybe we'll have to pan to him. He's here. But how is married life? Nana has to join us. No, is here. How's that like? How's the transition like? Are you submissive? Women are supposed to be submissive. You're a feminist. Are feminists submissive? Are you submissive?
Well, I'm still a rebel.
Yes, you're still a rebel. But
I'm still a rebel. Well, we're having fun. Honestly, we're still friends. He told me what I want is for us to be the best of friends, and we are friends. We laugh, we joke, we fight, But
he's got. To approach Gifty Auntie, he needed some. Yes, he has it. That's why I want him to join her because he has it. How did he do that? He wasn't intimidated.
No.
Wow.
How could he?
We need that kind of. How did he do it? How did you feel?
No, we were friends. We started a friendship, so it started like friendship, and then it grew up into a relationship. You know.
And when he asked you, what were you thinking? Did you think we were going to be friends, or maybe dates, not necessarily get married?
Yeah. I didn't expect us to be, and even when I used to say that, why can't we just date and then we'll be partners, like
cohabitation.
As for the cohabitation, I never did. I will tell you, that was our biggest problem. Doing sleepovers and stayovers and living relationship. It's a no for me.
Why?
I mean, no for me, because that was how I was raised. No for me. You don't move in with a man. My father drummed it into my head that, listen, if the man can have the milk for free, he will not buy the cow.
Okay, he wants the cow. I see.
He will not buy the cow, and you need to be do the respectable thing. Fine, you can go to his house, sleep over every now and then. He can come to your house, but to move him when he's not married to you, it's. I don't believe it.
I want to go to that moment. How did he propose?
I think that they take you for granted.
I want to take. I'm sorry, Royal.
He blackmailed me.
How did he do that?
He proposed to me in front of his family.
Oh, so you couldn't say no. But did you suspect?
No, because marriage was not on my mind. Though he had subsequently said, consistently say that, listen, marriage will be fun. Listen, we'll marry, we'll go for walks, we'll do this, we'll do that. So don't be afraid of marriage and all that. He used to say that, but
were you afraid?
No, I wasn't afraid. But I just needed to be sure. I kept telling myself that, listen, I've waited all these years, made my life, happy. Not, the perfect kind of life.
But you were
I
happy.
Enjoyed my life, my single life. I was making an impact. I didn't need somebody to come in and then frustrate me, and then I can't do what I want to do, achieve what I want to achieve. I didn't want that.
Okay.
So I just needed to be sure that this is it.
Okay. Yeah. What is about him that you like so much?
He's crazy.
Crazy how?
He's fun-loving. He's a very intelligent man. He's very liberal. He just loves me the way I am, and he's a strong man. Strong in terms that he can withstand anything. When he makes up his mind that this is what I want, to do everything. He had dating Gifty, and you can imagine the rumors and stuff and all that. He's still here.
I wish he would come and start.
He's been through.
Nana is not budget.
Sweet, please come.
Yes. Okay.
Sweet, please come.
Oh, yay. See, he didn't listen to my voice. That's why he said, "Sweetie," but he needs a chair. Yes, we'll bring him a seat on the set. So one of my producers, my cameraman, would bring a seat on set for Nana.
You see, you are letting the chief stand.
I'm so sorry. My apologies. My apologies. But why do men intimidate you? What do they say? How do they do it? Nana, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, I'll come to Nana in a bit. But why do men intimidate? What form does intimidation take the men?
Oh, it's basically about things that they say about you. Yeah. Sometimes subtly and sometimes directly. They'll say things about you, and if you're not careful, you run away. I remember when I used to host the newspaper review. Sometimes you're hosting the men, and they'll make comments like, why did you hear this from a man's bedroom? Things like that, or try to indirectly insult you and shout at you, and they try in several ways, but most importantly, you just know who you are, what you want, where you want to get to, and you move on with it.
Okay. Okay. You're beautiful. You've got a beautiful African body. Very beautiful, well proportionate. I like the way you go to for pro. I like that. Do you think that was in a way also intimidating? That in itself, your physical appearance in itself was intimidating, and so people, would rather. I don't know. She's all full of herself.
Yes. That also played a part, that you think you're beautiful, you think you know something, you're not intelligent. I remember my first appearance on the breakfast show. I was referred to as beautiful enough to decorate the set, but not intelligent enough to be on the program.
Okay.
Nana,
Welcome. Thank you. I think I've listened to you. That's my opinion.
Sure.
Yes. And how did you? Were you not afraid?
No, I wasn't.
Why? You've been admiring her for how long?
No, I just bumped into her once. I'd seen her a couple of times on TV, so for me she was another face on TV.
Okay.
And we became friends, and she's very intellectual, and was very intelligent, which I found very attractive. And so you could bounce off ideas from her. Look, I'm going to do this. This is my topic. This is my angle. And she'd come in and say, no. This angle, you open yourself up. Do this angle. It's more tighter. Oh, that's fine. And anytime I needed resource people for my show, I'll call her. And, she's, as I keep saying, she's bigger than me in the media. So she has more network than I do. So why don't I use it? So I call her and say, yeah, talk to that person, talk to this person. So we built up from there, and,
You are Nana, but I'm sure you have friends. Didn't your friends say, hey, Gifty auntie?
Yeah, all the time. Over to me.
Over to me. What did you tell them? Did you create doubt at some point? I mean, you're human.
No, but you see, I didn't realize she was an institution.
Okay.
It came.
Also, did that help? The fact that you didn't think of her as like that big, did that help?
You see, that wouldn't have intimidated me. But I told her once that if I'd realized, this, maybe I wouldn't have chased you.
Oh.
Yeah, because then you need to accommodate all of that. It's not that I would have been intimidated going out there, no, but then it means, now I need to open up and accommodate all this in need and that in need. And as I keep saying, I'm also chief in need. I also need help. But so I think it helped that the institution came about. It was about 3 weeks into the relation that I realized, hold on, she's not coming alone. She's coming with a whole bunch of people. And that you have to be prepared to accommodate everybody. But yeah, I did. I mean, I support her. I'm proud of what she does. And I think it's my part to make her bigger than what I found her. My credit is that, I'm able to do a bit more than I do. So, yeah.
I mean, how do you feel sitting next to him and he's saying all of these things to you? How does that feel?
Well, I mean it.
I know you mean it. I know you're not saying it.
I know he means it, yeah. So it tells you why I married him.
Wow. What's next? What next are you working on? What next project?
Well, we're coming up with my new baby.
I want to know. It's not. I know it's not the baby that is here. Which baby?
My new baby that's coming up on 92.7
FM. Yay! It's a 92.7 FM. TV3 has something to do with that.
Yeah.
So we air some of our programs on 92.7 FM.
Yeah.
So Gifty Auntie will be coming on 92.7 FM.
Yeah.
Tell us about the mode. What it would.
Well, it's going to be a talk show, and I'm a feminist, I'm a gender activist, I love women and children, and then issues affecting women and children I'm very passionate about. So we're going to have a talk show about women and children. We are going to get into the whys of so many issues. It's not going to be the same standpoint format. Yes, of course, some of the topics will interlap, but we are going to go deep into why.
Okay.
Why is Bridget so pretty?
Okay.
Get into the
can you share any memorable, letter or response you've had from someone you've helped? What is the one thing that someone has shared with you?
So many of them. The recent one being one lady sending me an email. I mean, let me even this morning a WhatsApp message in the US. She sent me a WhatsApp message from you. Said, Gifty, you have no idea how you are touching our lives, how you are changing lives. And I thank God that you have no idea, because maybe if you know, it will get into your head and you will, maybe become complacent. I've had emails telling me that, Gifty, my daughter got pregnant and I just didn't know what to do with her, so I kicked her out of home. But after watching your program, what you said, I've gone back to look for her.
All right. On that note, I'd like to say a very big thank you. I want to start off from Nana Ansakwal the fourth. I want to say a very big thank you for coming on set, and Gifty, thank you so much. I mean, you inspire a lot of us, and some of us are in the business. Yes,
we're hosting a show together, which is coming up soon.
Okay.
He said, she said.
He said, she said. The two of them will be hosting a show together. So, thank you very much, Gifty Auntie. Thank you very much for joining us.